Hello friends, my name's Lunernight and welcome to a random recording. Today I wanted to talk about that time I was kidnapped when I was little. I know this is a strange topic to talk about, but I figured what the hell, why not? Not a whole lot of my friends or even family know or even remembered that my mother and I together were kidnapped when I was little. So let me tell you the story about that. When I was about, I want to say 5 years old. This was before my sister was born, so I was about 4, maybe 5 years old. I don't know. My mom was a model when I was little, and so she traveled a lot. We didn't really have a place that we specifically stayed, and I stayed with a lot of different family back then. Well, my mom was staying with this guy that she was dating at the time. I can't remember his name for the life of me. But he had a cool little apartment. He had those neon signs and plants and all kinds of random things. And it was a one-bedroom apartment. So I slept in this hammock that he had put up on 2 corners of his wall. So there was this big, like, I want to say Bud Light logo that I slept next to, but honestly I can't remember, it was so long ago. But it was this little rainbow hammock, and I'd crawl up this like rope ladder to get to, and honestly I remember that relatively well, and I kind of miss that because I really liked sleeping in a hammock. But anyways, one night the guy that we were staying with and my mom got into a fight, and my mom decided that I was going to stay with the neighbor of the guy, one of the friends that she had made while she was in the apartment. And I had went over there, and it was this girl that we weren't really like friends, but I guess at the time we considered each other friends. But she was kind of a pretentious little bitch, but what are you gonna do? She had lots and lots, and I mean lots of stuffed animals. Like, her bed was so filled with stuffed animals, that's practically what we slept on. She had this big fluffy blanket, and you kind of felt like a princess, even though they lived in a really shitty apartment. But, it was about 3 in the morning. The girl and I had stayed up all night because it was the weekend, and we were just deciding to go to sleep. And we had started to pass out when there was a knock on the door. And the girl's mom answered it, and it was my mom. Well, my mom came in with the guy that she had been staying with and said that he wanted us to go stay with another friend because they had gotten into an argument. So they came in, her boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, I really don't know where they were at in their relationship at the time, came in, picked me up, and he, my mom, and another guy that they were with all got into a car and started driving. Well, I passed out, of course, because, you know, it was 3, 4 in the morning about this time, and I was like 4 or 5 years old, so I didn't, whatever, my mom wants to go somewhere, sounds great to me. Well, somewhere along the line, the other guy got dropped off, so it was just my mom's... No. The ex got dropped off, and it was just the friend of the ex that we were with. And, I remember waking up, and we were literally in the middle of nowhere. There was this house, and it was... How do I explain this? There was a big kitchen. It was kind of like a farmhouse. Not like a barn, but like a farmhouse. And it had a pretty decent sized kitchen. And it had like a little step up to where the living room area was. There wasn't really a living room. It was a really, really small house though. And then there was this tiny ladder up to this kind of attic room. And so it was kind of a square. You walked in and you were kind of in the entrance area. To your left was the kitchen. And then in front of you was the kind of sort of living area, and then off of the living area, so adjacent to the kitchen, there was an attic. And you climbed up this ladder to get to the attic, and it had these big doors that you slid shut, and it was just a big room, and I assumed that it was a bedroom. Well, during the night, my mom and I would go up to this attic room and we would sleep. There wasn't really a whole lot of space in there, so my mom would sleep and then I would sleep like laying on her chest, because, you know, I'm a toddler. And about a couple days into this, I realized that we couldn't leave the room at night. I didn't really know why, but every night when we went to bed, there was a lock on the door, and we couldn't leave the room. Luckily, there was a bathroom, so we didn't have to worry about that. But as time went on, I began to notice that when the guy was gone during the day, we couldn't leave the house either. The door was locked. So I began to realize that we were in kind of a bad situation. Well, one day, the guy came back to the house, and I was complaining. Cat, what the fuck are you doing? I was complaining that I was hungry and I wanted some ramen, but the guy that we were with really didn't want to give me ramen. I don't know why, but he was really upset and wanted me to eat bread. I don't really remember the whole argument. Cat, are you chasing a mouse? He's chasing a mouse. The guy that wanted us to stay here got really upset that I wanted the ramen noodles instead of the bread, and my mom and him got into an argument about how, you know, I needed to eat, and, you know, I was only like 4 years old, and this and that, whatever. Well, he got really pissed off, and he left. When he left, because he was so pissed off, he left the door unlocked. Well, my mom and I got outside, and about 2 or 3 miles away, now granted, we weren't like in a desert, but we were in the middle of nowhere. This was either in Nevada, so it might have been a desert, or it was in like a really rural area of some sort of back state. I can't remember where we were. So we walked for a little while, and we ended up finding his family's house, because apparently his parents lived nearby. And his parents, they weren't exactly privy to the information that we were kidnapped, but they didn't really care. While we were staying in this house, I believe we had went there once or twice. I remember I had seen them, but I didn't remember if we actually went there. So we had tried to go over there, and then about halfway over, we realized that that was a really bad idea, because they'd probably just take us back to the house, even though that's the only place we knew where to go. So my mom and I walked for a little while longer, and we found a gas station, and we were able to call my grandpa. Well, apparently the police had been searching for us for, I don't know how long we were gone. It could have been 4 days, it could have been 2 weeks. My mom says it was about a week, give or take. Because you just lose track of time. You know night from day, but you don't know how many days it's been. And the police showed up, and they never found the guy, but his parents were talked to a lot, and we went home, and I really still didn't quite understand what was going on, aside from the fact that we weren't supposed to be there. But my mom talked about it every so often, but in the last couple years, we've never really talked about it, because neither of us remember very much from it. And it was before my sister was born, so obviously my sister and I can't talk about it. But yeah, that was the story of how I was kidnapped, and what the actual fuck, that. But yeah, that was the story of how I was kidnapped. So Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great day. Lunernight signing out. Bye!